Mission: Impossible 2. Thrill ride that takes espionage, action, and double-crossing stunts to a whole new level. Released in 2000, directed by John Woo, and featuring the iconic Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt. This movie doesn't hold back when it comes to heart-pounding action and jaw-dropping stunts. So, grab your spy gadgets, because we're diving into the intense world of Mission: Impossible 2. The movie starts with Dr. Nick Horvich, a scientist who created a deadly virus named Chimera. On a plane, he's transporting the antivirus, but things take a dark turn. The villain, Sean Ambrose, disguised as Ethan Hunt, hijacks the plane, and things literally go down in flames. Boom! Just like that, the stakes are set high: deadly virus, rogue agents, and a twisty, spy plot. Cut to Ethan Hunt's iconic entrance rock climbing with no safety gear. If there's one thing that Mission: Impossible consistently delivers, it's Tom Cruise doing his own insane stunts. Honestly, what better way to introduce a super spy than with a death-defying climb? Fun fact: Tom Cruise did this stunt himself, with barely any wires. That's commitment. Enter Nya Hall, played by Thandie Newton. Ethan's mission is to recruit her, but instead of a handshake, we get a high-speed car chase. Sparks fly both metaphorically and literally as they spin and nearly crash, which, apparently, is their version of flirting. Nothing says "I like you" like nearly driving off a cliff. Every hero needs a formidable villain. Enter Sean Ambrose, a rogue IMF agent who's got his eyes set on Chimera for his own gain. He's smart, ruthless, and willing to do anything to get what he wants. One of the most thrilling parts of the movie is when Ethan has to break into Biosite Pharmaceuticals. Rappelling down from the ceiling, dodging security, classic Ethan Hunt. And let's not forget the tense moments as he tries to retrieve the virus. You can almost feel the pressure as time ticks away. And now, for the grand finale: motorcycle madness. Ethan Hunt on a bike, Sean Ambrose on a bike, bullets flying, and slow-motion dubs. This scene is pure John Woo. Explosions, bike stunts, and two enemies literally leaping at each other mid-air. This is what we came for. The movie wraps up with an intense hand-to-hand fight on a beach. Sand flying everywhere, punches thrown in, and Ambrose fight for the antivirus and, ultimately, the fate of millions. Cruise's Ethan Hunt emerges victorious, of course, saving the world yet again. A scientist, who is a friend of IMF agent Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise, who is in Sydney, Australia, wants him to escort him to Atlanta, Georgia, which he does. While on the plane, something bizarre happens and Ethan kills the scientist. It is then revealed that Ethan is not Ethan, but someone posing as him. He and his cohorts jump out of the plane and then proceed to crash it into a mountain. The real Ethan is then summoned by his superior for a mission, but before undertaking it, he is instructed to recruit a woman named Nya Hall, Thandie Newton, who is a thief, to help them. He doesn't goes to meet his boss, who tells him about his friend and the crash. He then tells him since Ethan was unavailable, he sent another agent, Sean Ambrose Dougray Scott, who, like Ethan, is a disguise expert. They then conclude that Ambrose was the one who crashed the plane and took what his friend was carrying, which he called Chimera. Ethan's mission is to get it back. He is then told that Nya is Sean's old girlfriend and that he wants her back. Ethan is hesitant because it seems that the two of them have connected, but is convinced that she is their best chance to find Ambrose, so he asks her, and she agrees. In Sydney, Australia, a Russian scientist named Nick Horvich raids Serbedzia, is attempting to create the ultimate cure, Bellerophon, to his super virus named Chimera. Nick Horvich plans to give Chimera to the U.S. government in order to expose his employer's criminal plans. Nick Horvich injects the sample of Chimera into his arm. With 20 hours before Chimera advances to the point Bellerophon won't be able to save him, Nick Horvich summons his old friend Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise, to escort him to Atlanta. On the plane, Ethan kills Nick Horvich before revealing that he is Rouge agent Ambrose Dougray Scott. who skydives out of the plane, which crashes into the Rocky Mountains. Ambrose had stolen the Bellerophon from Nekrovich, which he was carrying in his briefcase. Wallace William the Father and Ulrich Dominic Purcell are Ambrose's henchmen. Ethan is located in the mountains as he was on vacation. Michael, Ethan's boss, informs him that Ambrose and his team have gone rogue. While 2 of his 3-man team are of his choice, the last must be Nya Nordhoff Thandi Newton, who was Ambrose's ex-girlfriend. Ethan finds that Nya is a diamond thief and finds her trying to pick a secure lock for a precious necklace. Ethan tries to warn Nya that the lock is protected by a foolproof alarm, but she ignores him. They are surrounded by armed guards. Turns out Ethan's cover was of the security engineer for his client, and he says that Nya is his associate, who were testing the alarms. Ethan makes Nya return the necklace. Ethan admits that he triggered the alarm, but wants Nya to work with him, which she refuses as she feels humiliated. Later, Ethan chases Nya in his car and the 2 engage in high-speed car racing on the mountain. Ethan saves her life when car skids and falls over the cliff edge. Nya has sex with Ethan and agrees to be part of his team. Ethan then meets Mission Commander Swanbeck Anthony Hopkins. Swanbeck reveals that Nek Horvich had sent a video message to Ethan while Ethan was on vacation. Now Nek Horvich is dead. Nek Horvich had traveled with Agent Ambrose, who was impersonating Ethan on Swanbeck's orders. As Swanbeck could not find Ethan and Nek Horvich asked for him specifically, who has now gone rouge. Ethan's mission is to find this chimera and recover it. Swanbeck says that Ambrose was in love with Nya and she walked away. He has been wanting her back ever since. Swanbeck says that Nya is their quickest route to Ambrose, whom they cannot locate right now. Nya is not happy to learn that she has been recruited because she was Ambrose's ex-girlfriend. Ethan promises to protect Nya at all costs. He injects Nya with a transponder chip, and her location can only be read by Ethan's computer. The chip is completely untraceable. Ethan arranges for Nya to be arrested and then flashes her arrest on all news agencies. Ethan knows that Ambrose will be monitoring the agencies. Ambrose arranges her freedom and then gets her to his compound in Sydney. Ambrose's partner, Hugh Stamp Richard Roxburgh, doesn't believe Nya's damsel in distress story. Ambrose is livid and cuts off Hugh's finger. Ethan is tracking Nya with Luther being Rames and an Aussie helicopter pilot, Billy Baird John Polson. Ethan now knows Ambrose's location but doesn't know if he has Chimera with him and what he plans to do with it. Ethan knows that Nek Horvich was a specialist in recombining DNA molecules. In the Greek myth, Bellerophon was a prince who killed Chimera. Chimera was a monster with the head of a lion and the tail of a serpent, who plagued the ancient world. Ethan speculates that Nek Horvich created a monster virus and named it Chimera, and the antivirus Bellerophon. Ambrose makes a memory card with information on Chimera and wants Hugh to bring it to the racetrack. Ethan finds that Ambrose is negotiating with John McCloy Brendan Gleeson, the CEO of Biosite, which employed Nek Horvich. He sees Ambrose showing the contents of the memory card to McCloy on a camera. Ambrose then puts the memory card in his jacket pocket. At the racetrack, Nya gets Ethan the memory card that has the effects of Chimera on it by stealing it from Ambrose. Ethan copies the contents of the memory card. The card confirms that exposure to Chimera is fatal after 20 hours. Ambrose notices when Nya places the memory card back into his jacket pocket. McCloy is abducted by the IMF team and doped up on drugs and set up in a fake hospital room. McCloy believes he is infected with Chimera and is visited by Nek Horvich's ghost. Nek Horvich manipulates McCloy into revealing he ordered Chimera to be developed as a bioweapon for profitable military applications, and then bought the services of Ambrose and his team to steal the antivirus back after Nek Horvich's theft and escape. But now, Ambrose has become ambitious and is demanding McCloy pay £37 million for the antivirus sample, to which he agreed to. McCloy then passes out due to knockout gas. Ethan deduces that Ambrose does not have the Chimera sample, and this is why he needs McCloy. Ethan now knows that Ambrose thought that Nekhorovich was carrying both virus and antivirus samples in his briefcase, and was unaware that Nekhorovich had the virus in his bloodstream. At the same time, Nya is summoned to a meeting with Ethan, who has briefly broken into the compound to give further instructions. As it turns out, Nekhorovich's ghost was the real Ethan, gaining details on Ambrose's plans. While the Ethan at the compound is Ambrose himself, who now knows of Nya's allegiances, especially when Nya tried to come onto him. Ambrose and Stamp plan for Nya to be bait for Ethan. Ethan enters Biosite's lab on the 42nd floor of the Biosite building to destroy that last remaining Chimera samples. Ethan enters the building from the roof of the atrium and infiltrates the lab, where he destroys the incubation chamber and 2 samples in the injection guns. Hunt is attacked by Ambrose before he can eliminate the last sample in the injection gun. Ambrose defeats Ethan by sending Nya to pick up the last injection gun. Nya injects the virus into her body, giving her 20 hours to live. Ethan escapes as he does not have an escape plan for 2, promising again to save her. Ambrose releases Nya on the streets of Sydney to spread the virus. He himself is located on an island, along with McCloy. Ethan needs the Bellerophon before he can rescue Nya. At the facility, Ambrose's arm twists McCloy to use the £37 million payments to buy Biosite stock options that will skyrocket once the virus spreads, and the company will have the only known cure. Ambrose plans to gain controlling stake in Biosite from the billions he will earn from the stock options when the stock goes through the roof. Ethan plays a trick where he infiltrates the compound and then captures Stamp and then puts his own mask on Stamp and then Stamp's mask on himself. He drags Stamp as Ethan into the room with Ambrose. As Ambrose tortures Ethan and then kills him, the real Ethan in Stamp's mask takes the Bellerophon and then escapes. Ambrose identifies Stamp inside Ethan's mask by his cut finger. Ambrose pursues and then Ethan kills him. He then finds Nya in the streets of Sydney to inject her with the antidote and then save her life. So, that was Mission Impossible 2, packed with over-the-top stunts, a deadly virus, romance, and explosive action. Tom Cruise shows us that there are no limits when it comes to saving the world. Love it or hate it, this movie was iconic in the action genre for the early 2000s. And it certainly pushed the franchise into bold new territory. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more movie breakdowns. Drop your favorite Mission Impossible moment in the comments below, and let me know which movie you'd like me to cover next.